Hello y'all, this is the Hearts of Iron, format der Traum des Kaisers, also known as the Emperor's Dream, and what it aims to do is make a more fun world for a total conquest with monarchist Germany. This modification can be kind of broken up into two different parts. The first part is the optional new focus tree it gives to Germany, and this focus tree starts with Germany to arms, and there is no pro-fascist path here at all. It's all monarchist oriented. So we have focuses like, say, restore the Kaiserreich, the Kaiser, and rebuilding our country. So there will be a civil war where Hitler is overthrown and the Kaiser returns effectively. And so we're just going to go through each of these branches briefly. So on the far left, we have the Ministry of War. This is just military stuff. We have something for the General Staff, I think. We can reform the Imperial Army. And then after that, there is expand the Luftstreitkräfte, whatever it is. It's the Luftwaffe of the German Empire, essentially. There's something for the Navy. Then there is something down here on its own, which can only be done after 1940. This is rocket surveys. So this is all rocketry and nuclear associated focuses. That's what this little part of the tree is for. Then going more into the middle, we have this stuff here. And I think this is essentially the economical branch. So you can focus to have agreements with the Krupp family or agreements with Mauser. So I suppose the trade-off is one is more civilian oriented, so you get civilian factories and infrastructure with the Krupp family path with that branch, and you have a Volkswagen focus here. Then on the Mauser one, there's stuff for building say military factories, and that's what it seems to focus on. Then at the bottom, you get some things for Hell Germania, and you get a special idea called Long Live Sacred Germany. And you have some chromium work focuses and just get a bunch of resources down here. Pretty good resource bonuses, honestly. Get some synthetic refineries and all that. And going over to the far right of the tree, this is essentially the foreign policy and domestic policy, I guess. So you have either maintain the Kaiser's former privileges, basically restore the German Empire as it was before Kaiser Wilhelm II's abdication in the aftermath of World War I suppose, or you can choose to have the Democratic Compromise, which I think will make the country like a constitutional monarchy, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know, maybe that's perhaps what it does. I'm not too sure though. And going on, we have foreign policy related things. There's something for making the Frankfurt Assembly will allow the creation of puppet countries. This is a very important focus to do if you want to have tons and tons of puppets as Imperial Germany. Then you have things for reclaiming the empire. There's some, say, defensive works related focuses. Foreign policy for Asia. Do you back Japan or do you back China, really? Then going to the south, we have found the Reichspakt. That's a faction, so you can accept British naval dominance or our place under the sun, and then you can go to war with, say, possibly war goals for all the countries in Latin America. You can have a coup in Brazil if you want to. And there's even stuff for like developing East Asia and develop the African colonies. And you can have an alliance with Italy, or you can have a coup in Italy. You can ally Turkey, you can ally Bulgaria, and ally Austria-Hungary, recreate the Central Powers if you want to. And there's just all sorts of stuff here, honestly, for a playthrough as monarchist Germany in their Traum des Kaisers. Moving away from the focus tree now, there are tons and tons of special puppets here. I believe it's something like 50 plus as of recording, and they range all the way from German Sweden, well, the German Kingdom of Sweden, to, say, something like Klein Venedig in South America. And what I'm going to do at this point is go over all of the countries in this German Empire world, this Kaiserreich world, and we'll start in North Africa, then go to South America, then head over to Asia, Europe, and North America, which has its own special situation, really. So starting in North Africa, there is Deutsch North Africa. All the puppet countries you can get in their Traum des Kaisers. I believe they all have their own special flags and country leaders, and sometimes they have their own national spirit. So there's Deutsch North Africa here. Then we have the Egyptian Sultanate, and there's a lot of endonyms in German here, and German is a beautiful language, but I would probably mispronounce a lot of things in a great amount. So I think what I'm going to do is just roughly translate what the names are in English. So for example, Deutsch North Africa here is German North Africa. Then we have the Egyptian Sultanate. And going more into Africa, we have German West Africa, German East Africa, Middle Africa, well, Colonial Bund Middle Africa, and that's the colony in Middle Africa, I guess, effectively. And then below them is German South Africa, and Middle Africa control Madagascar. So going over now to South America, we have Klein Venedig, and this is technically, I guess, a revival of a failed colony from back, I think, in somewhere in the early modern age, and it just failed for the Germans. It was founded by the Venedig family, I believe. I could be wrong, and it was generally in this area. And then moving on, we have Königreich Brazilian. It's the Kingdom of Brazil. There's Peru Bolivian. That's just a colony. Then we have New Bavarian. That's New Bavaria. That's in, say, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, and Chile. And let's go over now to Australia, New Zealand, and Oceania. And that's dominated by German East Asia, Deutsch Ostasian. And we have the Philippines Admiralty. Is that its technical name? I guess so. And then getting more into China, we have the Grand Duchy of Central China. And Grub Herzogdom, well, Grub usually means like grand or big, I guess. And Herzogdom is duchy. And here is the Chinalish Deutsch something something. It's the Sino-German Trade Company, I think. They control a lot of the coasts of China and Korea. Then we have the Military Administration of Japan, and north of them is just Vernost. I don't really know what their deal is, but it's Vernost. We have the German Military Administration of Mongolia, the Military Administration of Siberia. There is the Grand Duchy of the Steppes, German India, effectively. This is Mittelostdeutsch. It's the German Middle East. It's like a colonial administration. Then we have the Turkish Sultanate, or the Sultanate of Turkey. And going more into Europe now, there is the Grand Duchy of the Caucasus. And there's just a lot of German royalty here. Yeah, definitely. And just military officers. There is the Volga German Duchy. We have Moscow, essentially. And there's the Grand Duchy of Finland. We have the Grand Duchy of the Baltic, or the Baltic Grand Duchy. Here's the Kingdom of Aslan, or the Kingdom of Belarus, I suppose. South of that is the Kingdom of Ukraine. There's the Kingdom of Poland, which it has a Saxon king. There is the Kingdom of Romania. Here's the Kingdom of Austria. And below that is what amounts to either the United Kingdom of the Balkans or the Kingdom of the United Balkans. There is the Kingdom of Greece. A lot of interesting flags here. We have the Deutsches Kaiserreich. It's the German Empire. It's the Kaiserreich. It's the crown piece of this whole collection here. It's controlling everything. The German Empire controls everything in this world here. There is Switzerland, who is the only real independent country, because for some reason, specifically the developer did not want a special formable puppet for them. There is the Grand Duchy of Lombardy Venice, the Grand Duchy of Sardinia Piedmont, the Kuchenstadt. This is the papal state, effectively. There's the Grand Duchy of both Sicilies. I suppose Grand Duchy of two Sicilies may be a better name. And this is not a guaranteed setup for how your world may look like if you do a world conquest with their Traum des Kaisers, because there is some special choices you can make that may affect the world's borders. But anyway, here is Königreich Aquitania. It's the Kingdom of Aquitania. The Königreich Frankreich. It's the Kingdom of France. There's the Kingdom of Iberia, and it's essentially just it's combined together with it's Portugal and Spain in one country. In the Low Countries, we have the Kingdom of Belgium and the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Then we have the Kingdom of England and the Kingdom of Scotland. There is the Military Administration of Ireland. And you can choose to just annex all of the British Isles or have it be united, but we chose to split it in half effectively between, well, Britain is split between the Kingdom of England and the Kingdom of Scotland and I guess North Bavaria, just looking at their name. And going over here, there is the Kingdom of Denmark, the Kingdom of Sweden, the Kingdom of Norway, and let's go over to North America now. Here's just Canada. It's a colony, effectively. Yeah, just basically a colony. Then below them, going down to Latin America, is Mexico. Just very big Mexico. We have the Deutsche West Indies, German West Indies, and then there is what could be considered as the United States, the contiguous United States. Alaska and I think Hawaii is controlled by the German Empire proper itself, but then in the former USA there is California, that's I guess just big California. We have Dakota Bismarck and Axon Kolonien, which is the 18 colonies, so I guess it's 18 US states effectively all put together in one country, and they're led by Dwight Eisenhower, who in our timeline was the President of the United States and a very prominent military officer in World War II for the USA. And with that, this has been the Traum des Kaisers. You can check it out in the video description. A link to it is there. What do you think of it? Tell me in the comment section below. And after you do that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications.